Hey, have you ever gotten a score back on something and just kind of stared at it, wondering what it really means? Today, we're going to clear up two of the most commonly confused terms out there, percentage and percentile. They sound similar, but trust me, they tell you two completely different things.
Okay, let's just kick things off with a question. Picture this. You get a test back, and right there at the top, in big red ink, it says 80%. So, is that good? I mean, your first thought is probably, yeah, that's pretty decent. But is it amazing? Is it just okay? The thing is that 80% all by itself, it doesn't really give you the full picture.
So to really dig into this, let's use an example. We're going to meet Anna. She just got a quiz back, and we're going to follow her results to see how these two numbers actually work in the real world.
All right, so here's the raw data. Anna answered 8 questions correctly out of a total of 10. That's our starting point. Now let's turn this into that number we all know and recognize. First up is the one you're probably most familiar with, percentage. The key thing to remember about percentage is that it's all about your performance, just you. Nobody else in the class matters for this number. So at its core, percentage is just trying to answer one very simple question. How much of this stuff did I actually know? It's a direct measurement of how you did against the material on the test. That's it. And the math for it is, super easy. You just take the number you got right, which is 8 for Anna, you divide that by the total number of questions, which was 10, and then you multiply the whole thing by 100 to make it a percentage. And voila, 8 divided by 10 is 0.8 times 100 gives us 80%. So Anna got 80% of the questions right. That's her individual score. But, and this is a big but, how did she do compared to everyone else? To answer that question, we need a whole different kind of measurement. We need the percentile. See, this has nothing to do with how well you did on your own. It is all about where you stand in the crowd. It's like asking in a race, not how fast did you run, but how many people did you finish ahead of? Now, this is the absolute key takeaway. Percentile doesn't care if you got 8 questions right or 2 questions right. It only cares about one thing, and it's asking a totally different question. How many people did you beat? Your score only matters in relation to all the other scores. So, to figure out Anna's percentile, we need more information. We need to see how everyone else in her class did. And here are the scores. You can see there was one perfect 10, a couple of 9s, and then there's Anna's 8, which you'll notice she shares with another student. This context changes everything. Okay, let's walk through the math here. First, we just count up all the scores that were lower than Anna's 8. If you look at the list, there are 5 of them. Simple enough. Next, we count how many people got the exact same score as Anna. In this case, that's 2 people. Now, to handle ties, a common formula basically gives them half credit. So we take those 5 scores below, add half of the 2 equal scores, which is 1, for a total of 6. Then, just divide that 6 by the 10 students in the class and multiply by 100. And what do we get? We get the 60th percentile. Now, just stop and look at that for a second. Her percentage was 80, but her percentile is 60. Those are two very different numbers, right? So what does being in the 60th percentile actually mean? Well, it's a simple way of saying that her score of 8 was as good as or better than 60% of the other students in her class. So she's definitely in the top half, but maybe not as high up as you might have guessed from that 80% score alone. All right, now to really make this point stick, let's introduce someone else. Let's meet Carlos. His situation is going to show you just how much context really matters. Okay, now here is the twist. Carlos got the exact same score as Anna, 8 out of 10, which means, of course, his percentage is also 80%. But, and here's the kicker, he's in a different class. And you can see right away how different his class is. The scores are way more spread out, there are a lot more lower scores, and you'll notice Carlos is the only person who got an 8. There are no ties. So what does that do for his percentile? Well, if we do a quick count, we can see there are 7 scores below his. 7 divided by the 10 students in the class, that puts him at the 70th percentile. So think about that. He and Anna got the exact same 80% score, but he's ranked 10 percentile points higher. Okay, let's wrap this all up. Time to put these two ideas head-to-head for the final comparison. This is where it all clicks into place. I mean, this table just says it all, doesn't it? Same raw score, same percentage. But because the group of people they were being compared to was different, their percentile ranks tell a very different story. Anna was at the 60th, Carlos at the 70th.
So when it comes down to it, you just have to remember that they're answering two totally different questions. Percentage asks, how much did you know? It's all about your personal performance. Percentile asks, where do you rank? It's all about your performance relative to the group. One isn't better, they just tell you different things.
And that kind of leaves us with one last question to think about. Which number tells the more honest story? Your individual mastery of the material, or how you stack up against everybody else? Well, the answer really just depends on what it is you're trying to figure out.